Hi, I'm Kiki from New Media Ghost. This is part 5 of a 6-part series on search visibility, and this one is about making your content easy for machines to understand, not just people. One of my favourite sayings is that it needs to be created for man and machine, something I've been saying for quite some time now. So let's have a little dive into Artificial Intelligence Optimisation, AIO. AIO is what stops AI getting the wrong end of the stick. It's kind of the behind the scenes work that makes your content easier to understand and reuse without guessing. So let's rewind a bit. GEO is about becoming a source that gets chosen. But artificial intelligence optimization is the step before that. It's about whether your content is readable to AI in the first place. A lot of websites read fine to humans, but they're hard for machines to interpret because they're vague. They rely on fluffy phrases, or they assume the reader already knows what the business means. If an AI system has to guess your meaning, it's far less likely to reuse you confidently. Here are the practical things that make the biggest difference. First, define the key terms you use, not in a long-winded way, just 1 or 2 clear sentences. If you use a phrase like digital presence, which I do, authority content or visibility strategy, make sure you explain what you mean in plain English. Second, be specific about what you do. A good test is this. Could someone actually describe your service to another person after reading 1 paragraph? If the answer is no, the page is probably too vague. Third, keep your language consistent enough that it doesn't create confusion. You don't need the same words everywhere, but you do need the same meaning. If one page calls it a content pack, and another page calls it a content sprint, and a third calls it a content system, the reader might cope, but a machine may treat those as different things. And fourth, structure the page so it's easy to scan. Clear headings, short sections, and the key answer near the top of each section. Remember that it's not just for humans, it helps machines pull the right part of the page. Here's a quick example. If a service page says we offer tailored solutions to drive growth, now that sounds nice, but it doesn't mean much. If it says we build structured service pages and supporting articles so you are easier to find and easier to quote, then that's clearer. And if it then explains the steps, what's included, such as who it's for, it becomes much easier to reuse. The most common problems are vague service descriptions, lots of buzzwords or jargon as we call it, and pages that never actually define the key terms they use. Another is changing what you call things without explaining the relationship, which creates a confusion. And finally, long paragraphs that hide the point, so the page is harder to scan and harder to lift. Next in the series is AI Overview Optimisation, which is the Google-specific part where citations can show up. If you found this useful, like the video and subscribe. The next one in the series is out next week. See you soon.